Today, car buyers are shopping online, in-store, and everything in between. Retail 360, Cox Automotive's suite of connected end-to-end tools, empowers your dealership to deliver the seamless experience consumers want. Reach out to your rep to learn more.
Welcome to this weekend drive edition of Daily Drive for the second week in August 2025. I'm Kellen Walker in Las Vegas. We're breaking down some of the biggest stories in the auto industry from the past week and looking forward to what's in store in the days ahead. Today, I'm joined by Michelle Krebs, who's guest hosting from Automotive News offices in Detroit. Michelle, welcome to Weekend Drive.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. In case some listeners didn't hear you on Friday's episode, remind our audience about your background covering the auto industry and as an auto analyst.
Well, interestingly, Cal, I started my automotive career as a journalist here at Automotive News. I covered General Motors and the financial beat and worked for the New York Times doing car reviews and reporting, went to Edmunds.com, and then I spent the last 10 years of my career as an auto analyst for Cox Automotive, and I retired from there a year ago.
Well, it's great to have you back home.
It's good to be home.
Okay, let's get into some news. So, Rivian and Lucid earnings this week highlighted the rough waters EV startups are in as the Trump administration makes environmental policy changes and pulls back federal support for electrification. It was tough enough to be an EV startup before this year. Do you think they can survive this new reality?
It's a really good question. They had serious challenges even before any of this happened, changes in policy. And I think this new reality is going to make it even tougher for them. We've already seen a lot of companies not make it. And I think the big question is, will these big ones, Tesla, Rivian, Lucid, make it going forward?
Interesting. And what about legacy automakers and their EV programs? They've made so many big investments from new products to battery supply chains. How do you think those commitments weigh against sluggish EV demand and an unfriendly regulatory environment?
Well, the legacy automakers have the advantage of they have gasoline powered engines to put in vehicles. And that was always what was financing the EVs anyway. So they can make some adjustments. I'm not saying it will be easy. They had relied heavily on an EV future. And we're like with Ford, we're already seeing some changes in those plans, but they at least have revenue and income from their legacy vehicles.
Perfect, Michelle. Coming up, we'll talk about Amazon Autos launching used vehicle and CPO offerings, as well as the turbulence inside the UAW. That's next on Weekend Drive.
Today's consumers are using multiple channels to buy cars, online, in-store, and everything in between. And dealerships need to deliver a consistent, connected car buying experience that keeps shoppers and dealers in sync across every channel and every stage of the purchase process. Retail 360, Cox Automotive's suite of connected end-to-end tools empowers your dealership to deliver the seamless experience consumers want. With industry-leading solutions and consumer sites, Cox Automotive connects and enables shopping and buying across all channels. Consider a typical buying process. A consumer might shop for cars on AutoTrader or on a dealership's dealer.com website. At the same time, they might research the value of their trade-in on Kelley Blue Book. Whatever they're doing, your sales team will see that they're actively in market through VIN Solutions. When they arrive in your showroom, you can use DealerTrack to build a deal and secure financing options. vAuto will help you price their trade-in correctly, and after they drive off the lot, you can use Xtime to keep them coming back as a lifelong service customer. Along the way, you'll get the industry's most powerful predictive insights that aggregate data from 7 out of 10 in-market shoppers and AI-led automation that puts repetitive tasks on cruise control. Reach out to your Cox Automotive rep today to learn how you can meet today's high consumer expectations to deliver a more satisfying car buying experience with Retail 360.
Welcome back to Weekend Drive. I'm Kellen Walker with Michelle Krebs. So, Michelle, there seems to be some turmoil at Solidarity House, just down the street from where you sit in Detroit. This week, our own Michael Martinez reported that UAW members will lose out on thousands of dollars in their profit-sharing checks this year due to the automakers' tariff cost. And we got news that the effort to oust Shawn Fain as union president is gaining some traction. What do you make of all this?
Well, the times they have changed, haven't they? First, I think we need to go back as to when Shawn Fain was elected. He was not elected by a huge margin, so there was always a lot of polarity within the ranks. And then you add on top of that the fact that they may not be getting the sizable profit sharing checks that they got before. There have been a lot of layoffs, and of course, I think there's a lot of insecurity among workers. Are they going to be laid off? So, of course, it's causing a lot of turmoil, and you look to the leadership to blame.
And early this week, our own Carly Schaffner reported that Amazon Autos is getting into the used car business. It's going to start posting listings for Hyundai used vehicles and CPO cars and trucks on its online retail platform. Knowing what you know about the auto retail space, what does this signify to you about the future of car buying online?
Well, I've been in this industry long enough to know that online car buying has been talked about for a long time, probably the last decade. It's really not taken off in a huge way. I remember studies at Cox Automotive showing people still wanted to go to the dealership. And with the Amazon Autos system, they will still go to a dealership. I think it's another foray. And we've seen Amazon try to do a lot of these things in the auto business. So far, it's not been hugely successful.
That's all for this weekend drive edition of Daily Drive. I'm Kellen Walker. Thanks to Automotive News executive producer Jake Neer for his help on today's podcast. You can get the latest news on online retail, electrification, and everything happening in the auto industry at autonews.com.
We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what you think of the show and the topics we covered today. Send us an email at dailydrive@autonews.com or leave us a voicemail at 313-444-2774.
And if you enjoy the podcast, remember to like, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.